Kickstarters.
Let's talk about Kickstarters.
We like Kickstarters.
I've been going on about the stencil Kickstarter. That is because I've been talking to the guy who's running it, and he's been showing me his product, and I like it.
I think they're nice. Yeah.
I think for someone who's got an airbrush and needs an excuse to use it...
Oh, I badly need an excuse to use mine.
The stencils
I've had it a year enough. I don't think I should take it out of the box apart from when you showed me.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a tank camouflage with tank patterns, and there's all sorts of proper patterns.
It's nice.
It is nice. I'll let you...
I want to see...
The links will go back up. I've put them up before.
Small stuff works out as well, because he's doing a range of 15mm, because somebody told me, I said, oh, this would be great on Drop Zone.
I spoke to him about this, because a lot of people have been saying... Number one, how does it go over raised detail?
Well, it's flexible, isn't it?
Yeah. I said that to him, and he said, "Oh, well," and he got it out and he showed it to me. And the material is resilient, and if you put enough pressure on it, it does cover and go to the grooves properly. It might not be reusable afterwards, because they are meant to be reusable. But the thing is, if you've got a pattern, there's a nice skull pattern.
Yeah. And
you can peel it off, but where the stencil has to become thin, like where you've just got a thin line for the jaw, that bit will probably come off.
Yeah.
You can reuse the top skull bit, that's perfectly fine. But you get to a certain thinness with a pattern, so say you've got the diamonds, you can only have that so small before it becomes too fragile, even coming off the back.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
So, no, it probably won't go down to 15mm.
I think he's done a couple, though. He's done a couple. He's done digital camo. He's done, is it the hex camo? People have asked, so he's done a few. I don't know how well they're going to hold up.
No. Well, Beasts of War have got a couple of videos going up with him. I haven't watched it yet, but
I think I'm going to back it. I think
it might already be done now.
No, 6 days left.
Oh, 6 days left. Well,
6 days left. I think I'll jump on.
It's not one that requires a huge amount of money.
No. I really like one of his stretch goals. It's called The Emperor's New Stencil. It's blank. So you can just cut out your own. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I love that. I thought it was very cool. And there's nice freebies on there, like kill markings, all that kind of thing. And
so it's got a lot of potential. So that's one we like. One that we've completed and we both have the models for now.
Yes, is the Darklands. Darklands. Miniatures.
There's so many dark.
It's a little bit of a derivative title, I suppose. But
it is a little. Yeah, well.
What else are they
considering the names for models are so impronounceable.
Welsh battles.
I can't remember what mine are called. Vermidian.
Briffinid.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's all Welsh. Apologies to any Welsh people, but it's not our mother tongue, and it's just.
I did have a rather nice holiday in Wales recently, so.
Did you run any of the names past Matthew by any chance?
No.
I should get him to translate, because they might mean things, you know.
He's going to come back to us for a lot of abuse.
He is.
He's talking about him behind his back.
Probably. But yeah, the models are really, really nice, and I do mean really nice.
I'm going to pull one down and just look at it. And tell me what it is. Yeah, I'm going to have to be careful. What is this?
That is one of the axe drunes. That's just a basic.
You're going to have to take a picture of this now, so people know what we're talking about.
It's a basic troop. He is. Just a standard bearer for his unit.
I'm going to describe this guy. He's a guy. He's got a banner in his left hand. He's got an axe in his right hand. His muscle is very well defined. It looks like a real person.
But it's natural proportions.
Yes, natural proportions. His cloak is all stitched together. It lays properly. It rests properly. It looks like proper cloth.
Mm-hmm.
There's no dumbing down of any of the detail.
No.
The skull and the antlers on the banner top are all textured as you'd expect wood and bone to be. It's just a really nice model. I hope the picture you take, and you have been taking some nice pictures lately, can bring all that out. But that's the one you're going to need to show people, because they don't have a clue.
I'll get my camera on it and see if we can describe, sort of get the photos to come up. But even on his belt, if you look on his belt, I don't know if you can see it, but there's even like detail on his belt.
Yes, there's
a skull on his belt. And
so you have what's the background story of yours?
They're Yizians. I'm pretty sure they're just Chaos Warriors. I don't know. I mean, there's not a great deal of background out for any of these armies yet. They're kind of. They'd bought quite a lot of the miniature range already. It was called Bane Lords. And now they're building the game and the fluff around it. But I saw the miniatures and I was like, yeah, I'm on board with that.
The look of the thing is fantasy, but it's realistic.
Yeah, it's all based on mythology.
Yeah, it's very realistic looking, real world style.
Yeah, exactly.
You've got monsters. I mean, my gang is a bunch of giant dragon people.
Yeah, I still can't remember what they're called, but they're really nice. Giant lizard things.
They're great. They look
but
really
nice.
They're
really nice models, and they're the kind of thing that, And again, they're not cheap. They were pretty good in the Kickstarter, but normally they're not super cheap. Yeah. But God, do you get what you pay for?
I mean, the Bane Legion stuff wasn't cheap, but it was like very high quality sculpts.
Very high quality. And it's all resin. It's not plastic or anything like that. And the resin knocks Finecast out.
They've got another one coming up.
They've got another Kickstarter coming up. It's mainly around the rulebook. They're doing a nice, obviously printed rule book. One of the stretch goals is a concept art book, I believe, and there's some generals and stuff. If you've missed the first one, unfortunately, you have kind of missed out on the army. Although there are some army deals in the new Kickstarter.
It's like do big monsters complement stuff.
It's a complimentary Kickstarter, but if you have missed out, there are 500 gold, I think, hosts, which are about 80-90 quid.
That's what we paid for our basic.
Well, yeah, we got a few stretch goals thrown in as extras, but yeah, it's definitely worth a check. It's got a really cool rule system where it's all on D100 scale, and as you take damage, your effectiveness decreases.
I still need to read the rules.
I did give you a copy of them.
Yes, you did, but I haven't read them yet.
Neither have I.
I just wonder how much record keeping is going to go into that.
I'm hoping not too much, but at the same time, you're not using massive armies.
No, it's only skirmish.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
you're 5 models.
6 because I've got an extra one.
Oh, that's right.
I haven't got any huge monsters to add to that.
Yeah.
So there's not going to be a big amount of record keeping.
Yeah, I think it'll be alright.
We'll have to see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it'll be alright. We will eventually, at one point, I've got loads of stuff on at the moment, we'll eventually dig out the rules and maybe sit down and have a couple of games with just a few models. Really basic, just doing that. But yeah, the new ones for the actual proper rule book and everything, check it out. Just type in Darklands Kickstarter. I think it's called Darklands First Edition. Have a look. The models are really nice, and it should be a good one as well. Another Kickstarter I want to talk about quickly, which is something I did post up on the Conclave recently, is Steve Smith's Warboards.
Warboards.
Now,
explain that to me.
Warboards. Basically, what these are is they are printed boards.
Oh, is this the card?
Yeah, that's right, the unfoldable card.
Board game boards.
Yeah,
for wargaming.
For wargaming.
So much larger.
So they're modular. They're like 2x3 or something. So you can put 3 of them together. So 4 of them together for a 6x4 battlefield. So this was double-sided.
This is sort of coming off the back of Dust Tactics.
Yeah, more or less.
Dust Tactics is a board game, and D&D, because D&D you would be essentially.
You see, he is doing gridded for this as well, so I think probably so you can use it with Dust.
Well, yeah, he's making it. Well, not just Dust, but role-playing games.
I don't think there's anything internal. I think it's all extra. I think it's all cities.
I
and
thought
fields.
I saw some sewers and a dungeony one.
I did actually know you are. I did see some space corridors. Anyway, check it out. It's called Warboards. It looks really nice. I think about 60 quid was getting you a 6x4 double-sided, a double-sided table, as it were. It's still sort of got about 20 days left to run it, I think.
I still have in my living room in a tube the Cities of Death paper
mat.
Yes.
Which you see, this folds up. It's big boards, but it all folds up to be no more than, I don't know, 20 by 30 inches.
And storage is one of the big problems we've seen. Really.
Yeah, and they come in little cases, and you can just put it up. It looks really nice. If I've got the money floating about at the time, I think I'll back it, because it'd be nice to just have something you can just unfold it all, put your models out, put it all away again afterwards.
I don't need any more scenery. I haven't got any room for any more scenery.
But that's why you want the small things. It all folds up into little boxes. But it'd be good, even if you want to go around a mate's house, pack it all up, because the Realm of Battle is very nice, but God, that thing weighs a ton. It's huge.
Yeah, it is.
And these things are just all fold up. So
and I had to buy a load of felt to put between each of the painted sides and the non-painted sides, just so it didn't keep
chip off all the paint. Yeah,
rubbing against one.
So there's a few Kickstarters that.
But if you've got any Kickstarters that you've noticed and you'd like us to have a look at, or you'd just like to chat with us or everybody else on the Conclave about, post them up on the Facebook.
And what do you think of Kickstarters? Do you think they're a good thing, or are they just a glorified pre-release?
Let's talk about Antares.
Antares. The problem with Antares was that it wasn't.
This is what I'm going to say. These Kickstarters, the original idea was that someone would present a idea.
Yep.
And it was a way of obtaining funding for that idea.
Yep.
What it's evolved into is that somebody has a finished product.
Yep.
And it becomes like a big funding event,
yep.
a big like competition type
thing.
The more money you get, the more stuff you get. Look at all this cool stuff. Oh, there's more and more coming. Oh, we've got all this stuff ready already. All we need is your money to produce it, because otherwise we can't be bothered. I mean, we can't be bothered to do it, and we'll just put it to one side. Maybe we won't bother doing it. Antares was looking at Kickstarter from its original concept, which nobody was paying any attention to.
Yeah, Antares was founded or created or whatever with the spirit of Kickstarter in mind. I have no doubt behind that. And
I backed that. That was the first Kickstarter I backed. I went in for over £100, and I was fully behind the idea of that it was a concept thing, and it wasn't finished yet. It wasn't going to be finished for a while, but I wanted to see something different.
I knew it was never going to get funded.
It was at the back of my mind, and you did say, didn't you? And Rick Priestley did say to you,
he did
give me a chance.
He did it. And Rick, again, I doubt you're listening. Nothing but faith in what you do.
See, what Alan didn't realise was that Rick Priestley is a friend on my Facebook account.
Oh, don't! What was Battlefleet Gothic report?
I was bigging it up and saying, "Oh, that's great! Come on, guys, put some money in." Alan and a couple of other people going, "No, it's not going to work. It's not going to work." So Rick Priestley came along and said, "Oh, yes, now you say as you."
I'll make a habit. I must have pissed off half of the XGW staff and Andy Chambers as well.
The amount of contrite grovelling that followed his post.
I've got nothing but faith in what Rick does. At the end of the day, Rick has been instrumental in bringing us what we all love. Gates of Antares looked like a really cool idea, but there was not enough on the table.
The only model that got made
was the Hansa. I've got two.
I've got one. I got the resin one.
Resin, one metal, just to see what the difference was.
I haven't got around to paint it yet. I really do want to. It's a nice
knocking
model.
About. I'm going to paint mine as Hulk Hogan from Suburban Commando, because that's who he looks like.
He does. He does look like Hulk Hogan from Suburban Commando. I just wonder how many people get that reference. Maybe you could paint him as Hulk Hogan.
What I need to do is I need to do a little Christopher Lloyd as well.
Isn't it Heresy Miniatures that does all the looks like?
Yes, it is.
The license to produce them.
But yeah, Kickstarter for Gates of Antares it was a cool idea. There wasn't enough there.
They came at it as a business proposal. They presented it as a business proposal on a site that was made for business proposals, but which was no longer.
It's still coming
out.
The
audience wasn't there for a business proposal. They were there for nice shiny things.
Yeah.
So I think Kickstarter is a good idea because it is the amount of stuff that's coming through has exploded. The amount of new games and new concepts that are coming in. Of course, there's a lot of crap ones in there, but hopefully they're the ones that don't get funded.
This is the problem behind Kickstarters. This is the problem. As Lee has said, you are funding an idea. What turns up will not always be what you've promised. Anybody who's backed Mantic's Kings of War Kickstarter will say this. I don't know if you've seen the Kings of War stuff.
I have, as a matter of fact, the Basilians, I have.
They're bloody awful. And not just them.
They fit entirely within Mantic's existing range.
You're being very, very diplomatic. I'm sure there's a reason why.
I don't want to have any awkward discussions with people from Mantic.
No, that's fair enough. I have to say, I can be impartial.
I have to say,
impartial. I can be as partial as I like.
They're not my cup of tea, but a surprising amount of people have said they really like them.
For a budget line, they're okay.
I think for the artwork that because the Basilians that are now a current release were made possible because they went through Kickstarter, and a lot of Mantic stuff a lot of new Mantic stuff appears to start in Kickstarter because Loka, their battle chess game. That was a Kickstarter, and that is due for release. That looks pretty
cool, you know. I had a look at that. It's like a four-sided chess thing going on with some nice models.
It's due out soon for mass retail, but I think a lot of people were hoping that the models would more closely resemble concept art, and they don't appear to have done that.
But that's the problem. People are funding that on the basis of the concept art.
Yes.
Because that's all you've got to show. You haven't made the models. We understand that. You can't show us the models. She's showing us the concept art. So you need to make them as close as you can to the concept art. Now, I've got my Sedition Wars stuff turned up. And Sedition Wars is a
Sedition Wars has a lot of very quality sculpts.
Semi-positive Kickstarter for me. It's been pretty good. It's not been quite what we were promised, but it's not bad.
It's more the rules, though, isn't it?
Yeah, some of the models...
The rules fall short of...
I don't believe you should buy a board game whereby you have to put models in boiling water to get them to fit.
Yeah, the material's not great, and I noticed on the ones that you had recently come in, there's some very prominent mould lines on models which have an awful lot of detail where the mould lines are.
Restic, and I'll be...
You need to get some pictures of those.
I'll be scraping off a fair bit of detail, unfortunately. But
while you're editing this, you need to be taking the pictures.
But
yeah, look, your camera's right here. I'm touching it.
But yeah. So the Sedition Wars was. I've funded a few Kickstarters now. I've done the Miss Miniatures Darklands one. Perfectly happy. All turned up on time. In fact, I think it might even turned up ahead of time. Lee's stuff turned up.
Which was contrary to what a lot of people were thinking.
Yes, exactly. There's quite a few people out there who owe Miniatures a bit of an apology. Not sure what's gone ahead, but this time they definitely did deliver, and that's going to get a lot of people on board for his next Kickstarter, I'm sure. Totally happy with that. Brilliant models delivered on time.
I like my models.
Fantastic stuff. Let's see if the rules match up. I backed Sedition Wars. It turned up. It's okay. The quality's not quite there.
Studio McVeigh. A big name in the business.
Is it Studio McVeigh's fault? Is it Cool Mini or Not's fault? I suspect there's a little bit of both, but it's not quite what it should be. But it's all right. It's not a bad Kickstarter. I backed the brushes Kickstarter.
Oh yeah,
Game Gear.
That's terrible.
And those brushes, let me tell you, were very substandard.
I am going to buy you a Psycho brush. I've got one. It's amazing. It's the smallest, thinnest brush.
Really?
I'm going to get you one.
Awesome.
I'll get you one on Wednesday. And
cool.
As soon as I see you, you can have it.
Brilliant.
I've got some Death Guard Terminators from Forge World. Their eye slits are so thin. They're eye slits, but they're really thin. This goes in right to the sides.
Nice. These are just. I mean, I've got one here, I think, somewhere, and they're just terrible. I mean, they're just
frayed. Is the hair artificial, or is it?
It's meant to be Kalinsky. It's meant to be Kalinsky sable.
I've seen Kalinsky brushes and they don't look anything like
yeah, no, I was very disappointed. So that's an example of a Kickstarter that you back, thinking you're getting one thing, and you get something else. And you don't have any kind of comeback, really. You know, you've paid for an idea. So you've got to be wary. But no, overall, I think Kickstarters are a pretty good thing. And if you get what you are... You know, if you know what you're going in for and you're going to get it, then yeah, I think they're good.
Yes. So on the whole,
Rick is doing his Gates of Antares anyway, and he might come back with another
Warlord
Games. Yep.
Which is where we got our Tenzas from.
So I hope that after a bit more development, I think he tried it too early. I think, as you say, he tried to pitch an idea. What he needed to pitch was a game.
I think for what he had, which was nothing to show. He was asking for an awful lot of money. £300,000.
Was that how much it was?
It was, yeah. And I don't think... The really successful ones, things like Kingdom Death, which took in an awful lot of money, had an awful lot of stuff to show.
That might be to do with the tits.
Renders. They had renders. They had some actual models ready. They had a lot of artwork with women with large breasts in very little else, which is always a draw for a lot of people. They had it all. Yeah,
exactly. And Kickstarter, Gates of Antares, it was an idea. There was stuff there. I don't know if a lot of it was floating on the Rick Priestley name, but that is a good name. I'm sure when it comes out, it will be good.
Yeah. So
keep an eye for it.
Moving forward, we will share what Kickstarters we've found that we like, and we hope that you will share with us some Kickstarters you find that you liked. I know there is a person I've been talking to on Facebook who is in the process of putting together a lot of his sculpts and artwork for a Kickstarter that he's bringing up. I'm not going to say anything else because he hasn't mentioned it to anyone, but I hope to get to speak with him when it actually goes live because it does look very good.
Cool. Okay. Awesome. I hope you hear some more about that soon.
Mystery Box. We've had Dreadfleet. We've had Space Hulk. And we were told... we were told
Blood Bowl originally, wasn't it?
Yeah. A lot of people thought it was going to be Blood Bowl.
Because it was the anniversary, which makes sense.
Then it became a 40k skirmish game, which was to be used as an introduction. And it was going to be based on Inquisitors. Not necessarily the Inquisitor game that was before, the large scale...
No, just that setting.
Yeah. And... it hasn't happened.
Genius. It would have been... Games Workshop... What are you thinking?
See, John Blanche has a lot to answer for making us think that this might happen. Because his infatuation with the Plague Lord and the Wraith and just converting up numerous and inviting on people with their numerous Inquisitor warbands. And why would you want an Inquisitor warband? It's so odd. There's not many. I think it's only Grey Knights, really. And
that's it, exactly, yeah.
You aren't really...
I think it got hopes up.
I'm
going to do a really quick shout out here. Luke Wilson, I'm really sorry that I've not picked up the phone. You've been phoning me to obviously try and sort out this Storm Raven.
You've also messaged me, but I've not been looking at my phone.
Right in the middle of the podcast. So I'm so sorry, mate. As soon as we get done recording this, I'll give you a call and we'll sort it all out.
This is proof of what he's going to tell you in a while.
What am I going to say?
Well, when you talk to him on the phone, you say, "Oh well, you kept."
Oh well, yeah, absolutely, yeah. No, I'm not making.
That's a good idea.
That's it, exactly. I'm not making it up.
We just start calling people on the Facebook page, so they call us back, and we can start. What you talked about? You on the thing? We can pick a random person to talk about, and then they'll have to listen and see what we.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, exactly. If we cared about viewing figures.
Speaking of random people, how many likes are we on?
Members?
Yes.
95, I believe.
95!
Nearly 100.
So close to 100. We are going to have a discussion when we're finished here about having a prize, random prize draw.
We'll think of something cool.
When we hit 100. It's not going to be massive. We're not millionaires. It's not going to be a huge big thing, but it'll be something for someone.
Yeah, definitely something
to take away.
Definitely something we'll think of. We'll do a little competition.
I've already got an idea
of some description. We'll have a chat about it afterwards. But yeah, going back to the Inquisitor game, it looks like it's not going to happen.
It's a shame.
Why not? It would have been such a good idea as a gateway into 40k. Which, let's face it, is not a cheap thing to get into. But also, I can't think of a single person who wouldn't have gone out and bought that game.
No. The only way would have been that what you got in the box was it.
But even that would have been fine. Say you get in the box 20 models, some really nice scenery, and those 20 models are one Puritan Inquisitor and one Radical Inquisitor.
So you've got two.
With some henchmen.
All they needed to do was to have a book like Warhammer Quest had, maybe not even that big, with a list of rules for enemies that you could fight.
Yep.
And other warbands, and then you've got the whole 40k range.
Yep.
To build models.
And we've seen what kind of models they can produce in plastic these days.
Oh yeah, the clan packs are
the Inquisitor range
still one of my favourite things that Games Workshop does.
Even though they're trying to charge £18 for a Space Marine these days.
Yeah, £8 when they come out, that was brilliant. £18 for a Space Marine. Just because it's a Space Marine and it's a resculpt of a Space Marine that's already out.
Yeah, I know. I looked at my Stern Guard and they all looked a lot better after that.
I'll show you Stern Guard because I've not really seen anything.
You've not seen the box? After the podcast, I'll show you.
I've seen the box, I haven't seen the plastic.
Oh, right, I'll show you the sprues afterwards. Because I've not put them together yet. But yeah, I mean, everybody would have bought it. It would have, some really nice inclusion models. I don't know why they've not done it. I mean, maybe Dreadfleet scared them off. Maybe they're just not going to do any more of those.
Dreadfleet is a different beast entirely. Dreadfleet was a self-contained game. It was entirely different from anything Games Workshop had done before, and I think it's underappreciated because I enjoy it.
Oh yeah, no, I like the narrative. I like the narrative stylings of Dreadfleet an awful lot. Actually, I just think it was. Like Games Workshop just didn't.
People wanted Man of War.
It was dead on arrival, basically.
People wanted Man of War, didn't get it, and they weren't interested. They bought it because it was flashy, it was new, it was limited edition, and you can still find loads.
And I think the whole thing was Phil Kelly's idea as well. I think it was very much a labour of love from his point of view that he pushed it to try and get it out. But I think now maybe the money crunchers are like, we won't release it.
If he'd gone to a different company with that, it probably would have done well. As a board game on its own, it would have done well. But I think because it came out through Games Workshop, that's what did it. The people who would buy it are the people who already buy Games Workshop things, and we're very set in our ways. Yeah.
So it appears that we're not going to get the Inquisitor skirmish game that we all wanted, that would have brought back wonderful memories of Necromunda and sort of the character-driven games that we used to enjoy.
That's not going to stop us.
It's not going to stop us. No.
We are going to take this on ourselves. We already had plans for something similar, and we may come back to that, so we won't talk about it. But we're going to have a go ourselves. Basically, it's going to be a reskin of Necromunda, but it's going to also be a sort of an expansion of Necromunda. So, as I said with Warhammer Quest, you had your game Fight Against Monsters.
Yep.
There's no reason why you can't have a third person, like a games master, who controls bands of Xeno or cultists, and you, or maybe more than one band, have to fight those creatures.
Yeah.
That also means that you're not restricted to one facet of the fluff. You're not restricted to just Inquisitors, because Inquisitors are fighting aliens, Inquisitors are fighting cultists, Inquisitors are fighting demons, just as much as they're fighting other Inquisitors.
Yeah.
So it's not going to be a short-term thing, it's going to have to be a long-term thing. But we're going to go away, we're going to give it some serious thought.
Yep, put some time into it.
Hopefully we'll have something solid that we can release bit by bit that you'll help us
get feedback on.
Yeah, you'll help us try out, play a little bit, and maybe we can build something more substantial. It's not a for money thing.
It can't be a for money thing. Games Workshop would kill us in seconds.
But it can be a for fun thing.
Yeah.
Nobody has to be interested. Just a pair of us could play it, and
it's something that, I mean, I loved Inquisitor. You might have read my article on Inquisitor. Although the game was never quite there, it was a bit clunky, a little bit daunting to some people. The whole idea
Inquisitor loved Inquisitor.
Yes, exactly.
I was at it must have been the Sabbath Worlds campaign at HQ, and there was a good little group of people in Bugman's off on their own playing Inquisitor all weekend while we were playing 40k.
Oh yeah, they're devoted.
Their game fed into what we were doing, and they were completely, just like Inquisitors, they were completely unsung. Nobody really paid them any attention. They just got on with their own thing.
No, they're devoted, absolutely. But the background, that whole bit of Warhammer 40,000, the dark and secret and clandestine bit of it, not just all the battles and the fighting, is something I really want to explore.
If we didn't have Inquisitor, would we have had Eisenhorn? Would we have had Ravenor?
That's what I said in my review.
Yeah. So
doesn't even bear thinking about.
It's hard after these things pass. It's hard to remember what a seismic shift they caused within the universe. Before then, Inquisitors were just like these funny guys. They were really angry, really moody.
Yep.
Occasionally they'd blow up a planet, and they'd just walk around. Mate, you wouldn't even bother including them in your army because you had better characters. And now Inquisitors are a big deal.
That's it. After Inquisitor, we had monodominance.
Everything you've been told is wrong.
A lie.
Everything you've been told is a lie. That sentence changed so much.
Because before that, it was thought Inquisition was one big happy family.
Yes, no one expects the Imperial Inquisition.
Indeed. So yeah, that's something we're going to work on because it doesn't look like GW are going to do it. So
the starting point, I haven't discussed this with you, I've only briefly mentioned it, is that we're going to create our own Imperial sector. Much like the Rogue Trader books do.
Mm-hmm,
much like the other one. What's the other one from Rogue Trader? I can't remember.
Dark Heresy.
Dark Heresy. Yes, I've got that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still reading through it. I've still got loads of books of Dark Heresy I haven't even touched on. But just like they've done, we will be creating our own sector.
Eke out a little bit.
Funnily enough,
the Imperium.
I have a lot of it already built from something I did years ago, and I've even got solar system maps, planetary things, but we'll need to learn how to make more. Though.
Yeah, we'll play it back up, and we'll do something there because that's something that
So that's the start.
I really wish it to come out.
Yeah, and we welcome suggestions for bits of fluff. Bear in mind that Space Marines aren't going to play a huge role in this. There will be Space Marines, but the Space Marines aren't going to be the be-all and end-all of everything. It's going to be the Imperial citizen, the regular.
I want to focus very much on the stuff that doesn't get featured.
Yeah.
In fact, very much the stuff that is in Dark Heresy.
Xeno and cultists.
Yep.
Demons would be the equivalent to Space Marines on the baddie side.
Yep.
So high power things will be very restricted.
Yeah.
We'll see where it
You're
goes.
not going to have hive tyrants rampaging all over the place. No. You might get some gene stealers. Do you see the cults?
Boss monsters.
Yeah, exactly. Would
be maybe a Carnifex would be as big as it gets.
Yeah.
But we're getting ahead of ourselves.
We are indeed. What have we got less to talk about?
What are our hobby plans? I've done bugger all.
Well, I was going to say you've written down plans hobby wise, and I think, in all honesty, I've not done.
I've done bugger all. I managed to paint because I was taking part in the Tabletop Nation Dystopian Wars Journeyman
How
League.
did your War Machine journey? Did you get any better?
I learnt a lot. I didn't win any games, but I did manage to paint one model through the process, so I've got one more model painted than I did before.
Okay, that's not a complete loss then.
The Dystopian Wars one is still being serialised by Beast of War, so the second part is due up any day now.
Cool.
But I managed to paint up 2 units for that, and I did learn a bit more.
Cool.
I did win a game with my Dreadnought, which I hadn't used before. So I've done a bit of Dystopian Wars. I'm still painting those Death Guard Terminators I've been painting since March.
Yeah, they look good.
I've got 3 to finish, so I plan to finish those. I've got a Hemlock sprayed up.
Alright, cool.
Just sprayed up, that's it. Just put together and sprayed up. I painted the pilot.
It's more than my Stalker.
Yeah. Well, that's a nice model.
It is.
You've got out now your wooden...
Yeah, absolutely. I figured that... look, I wanted to just... I don't know, I got bored one day basically, and I grabbed a can of black and grey spray paint, and I just started spraying up this burnt wood scenery that I've got, and it looks alright.
It still smells of burnt wood.
It still smells of burnt wood, yeah.
Now, I've I've had hold of the Spartan Games Spartan Scenic stuff.
Oh yeah.
It smells similar, being made of wood. It's thicker.
Okay.
It is a lot thicker, but I don't think it needed to be because it's also very heavy. I think if you're going to look after this stuff, you don't need it to be. I mean, I've got here a hexagonal bit.
Yeah.
It's got a circle in the middle. The main body of it's got holes in, so I question how durable that would be for if someone wasn't looking after it properly. Whereas here you've got a piece that's completely...
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not...
I'm not going to do
I think metal models will stand on it just fine.
Yeah.
Some of the longer walkways bow a little bit in the middle when you put heavy models on them. But
no,
I mean,
also like what you've done with... You've added some detail here with pen, ink.
no, that's already there.
Oh, it's already there?
That is already there. Yeah,
That's
it's already
good.
cut into the models. That's why I said in my review, like, obviously somebody didn't read it.
I can't stop smelling it.
Personalised bits of it as being different and everything like that, and I've got a lot of work left to do on it, but I gave that a spray. What else have I done hobby wise? I've painted a couple of Infinity models up there, and I've started base coating a Legion thing.
I'm going to have to put pictures of these up. I've got a picture of a Terminator that I can put up.
Cool. We are actually going to do some more work to the website soon. I need to get all of our models together, do a nice shoot, and put some stuff up in the gallery.
Could you give us some feedback on the website? Because I had a comment on Tabletop Gaming News when we had our Andy Chambers interview up there. They said red on black and grey on black was very hard to read.
Yes.
Gave them a headache.
Yes.
So if you find that that's the case, please let us know.
Yes.
Because we did change my most recent
I lightened up the text on the most recent one. Unfortunately, the website I've got is kind of limited. I'm not in this to make any money. Well, neither of us are. So the website is a free website. A little bit later down the line, I might look at sprucing things up a little bit. But
we'll put a little bit of money in it later on when we've got more stuff.
Yeah, when we've got something ready to go. But in the meantime, any feedback you've got on the website at all,
anything
let us
you'd
know.
like to submit, any articles, any things you'd like to see us do to look at, let us know. We have got ideas for stuff. It's just time.
It is just time. I work nights. He works days.
I work long hours. Not necessarily.
I was going to say, I wouldn't say sort of
8:30 till 6, and then it takes me an hour each time to get there and back. So
yeah,
it's a long day for me. By the time I get home, I just want to put my feet up.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I've got busy weekends.
And that's it. And
I'm making excuses. So
evenings are out for me.
We've got stuff we've got to do, and we will get it up. But if there's anything specific you would like to see or hear, let us know.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best thing.
And feedback for this as well.
Yeah, this is the first podcast.
I don't know how the editing's going.
I'm not editing it. I'm just going to slap it up there.
I'm
a little
not even
bit.
going to listen to it after.
I might put, you don't need to. You said it. I might put a little break in there, a little bit of music.
Well, we're currently at 1 minute, 1 hour.
20
minutes.
Well, 20. It's not bad.
Yeah, it's quite substantial, but I think we'll leave it there.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the first podcast, so again, any feedback, anything you like, let us know. Anything you don't like, let us know. We don't promise to change anything, but yeah. So we're going to carry on doing these because it's actually been pretty good.
Why did we do it like that? Screw you. That's why.
I know it's been good to catch up. Actually, we don't. It's been nice to talk about stuff.
As they are, we're very busy.
Yes, exactly. So it's been the first chance for a while. Anyway, we will see you guys soon, and let us know what you think. Cheers.
Bye.